The sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell is nearing its end after 12 days of testimony. Closing arguments are underway in federal court in New York City. Maxwell is facing 6 charges. Prosecutors say she lured underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein, who then sexually abused the victims. She has pleaded not guilty. Maxwell faces a 70-year sentence if convicted. Defense attorneys say Maxwell is taking the fall for Jeffrey Epstein. He killed himself in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. We want to remind our viewers this trial is not being televised because it is a federal case. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. Hi, Jessica. So what is the strategy from both sides for closing arguments?
So I think the defense is going to rely heavily on a strategy that, frankly, we see the defense use in almost every criminal trial throughout the country, which is prosecution, you didn't prove your case. And they're going to say you really relied on these 4 witnesses, the 4 women who came forward and said that Epstein ran this sexual criminal enterprise and that Maxwell was at the center of it, but that all of these women had problems with their credibility. The prosecution similarly is going to rely on these 4 accusers and say, look, they have very similar stories. We were able to, not just with their testimony, their very powerful emotional testimony, but we were able to look at these 4 accusers, listen to what they had to say, and then look at documentary evidence, and we're able to situate Maxwell at the very center of everything that happened here. And we can prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. So they're really arguing about the same things, but we do increasingly see a lot of the prosecution saying, trust your gut, the defense saying, there's credibility problems, there's too many holes, you can't find it beyond a reasonable doubt here.
Now, Maxwell did decline to testify in her trial. She said the government had not proven its case. Was it a smart move by her defense? I mean, we do see very often that, in a case like this, it's not a great idea to take the stand. So you think this was a good idea by the defense?
Well, of course, we'll know when we get the verdict and we can look back and say that was a brilliant move or not. But generally speaking, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not at all unusual for defendants to say, I don't have to take the stand because of something we just talked about, which is the prosecution has the burden of proof here. It's the prosecution's burden to say proof beyond a reasonable doubt on these 6 counts related to, for instance, sexual trafficking, enticing minors to engage in sexual abuse. And so what the defense here is really saying by not putting her on the stand, I think, is it could do more harm than good. It could open her up to a whole line of questioning that she doesn't want to answer about her relationship with Epstein. And I think it showed that there were too many potential risks here of putting her on the stand. It's the defense's way of saying, we don't even need to go there. When do you see defendants go on the stand? Oftentimes when they feel that it's really the last resort, or that the whole case just hinges on being able to hear from that person because it's all based on what their story is. Here they took the fairly conventional route of saying, look, more harm than good.
And you mentioned, of course, that prosecutors built their case on the accounts of these 4 accusers who testified at the trial. Do you think that their testimony then, there were some holes in their testimony that have given Maxwell's attorney some ammunition when they responded to that testimony?
Absolutely, but the question is whether or not it's enough ammunition. So what the defense really focused on here is, look, their memories have changed over time. We heard a lot about memories fading and changing and false memories, saying that their accounts changed from when they first talked to law enforcement to after Epstein died, then when Maxwell was going to be tried, and trying really to just do what the defense does in these cases, which is poke holes in the prosecution's argument here. Now, look, particularly in an old case, particularly when you're relying on 4 witnesses, there will always be some inconsistencies. The question is whether or not the jury thinks those inconsistencies are enough to say that they can't pass that threshold of proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. Now, of course, Jeffrey Epstein was facing federal charges himself when he died by suicide. Did his death make it harder for prosecutors to build a case against Maxwell?
I think in some ways it did, because they weren't able to call him to the stand and say, walk us through this, walk us through why bank accounts indicate that you deposited over $30 million in Maxwell's bank account. What did you expect in return from that? Talk to us about these girls. Talk to us about what happened. Maxwell has really said, look, I'm only being tried because Epstein can't be. So I'm the scapegoat here. And I think it hurts the prosecution in some ways. It gives the defense, again, something to argue, which is you're trying the wrong person. And or I think the defense also tried this tactic of, look, I was a victim too in this larger enterprise. It certainly looms so large that the person who actually apparently perpetrated many of these crimes, either with Maxwell or on his own, obviously is unable to be called to the stand.
Right. And of course now, Jessica, the jury will be going through a lot of testimony to decide who they believe. In your experience, how do jurors approach that responsibility once they start deliberations, especially when they have to comb through testimony, like you said, that, that happened so long ago?
So this is one of the kind of least transparent parts of our criminal justice system, which is obviously juries can deliberate in private. So what will they do? They'll probably go back. They have a foreperson, and they'll probably take an initial vote just to get a sense in the room of where are we all. And then they might decide to kind of bore down on the specific places where there are disagreements. Juries tend to take their roles very seriously, particularly, obviously, this is a high-profile case. You and I are talking about it. Now, and to what you asked in the question, which I think is such a good question, a lot of this really will come down to whether or not the jury finds that these four accusers are credible, whether or not the jury can say, yes, there are some inconsistencies, but this was a long time ago. And the major consistency, the major narrative here is clear that Maxwell is guilty on some or all of these 6 counts. And so a lot of it's going to come down to, obviously, do the facts fit the law and the jury instructions, but that human gut response of, do I believe these women?
Right.
And obviously for juries, that's a lot of what it comes down to, which story is believable.
Jessica Levinson, thank you so much for your legal insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.